This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.
Welcome back. As the Bahamas receives its third tranche of 33,600 doses of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine through the COVAX facility, the U.S. Embassy in Nassau also helping out by donating much-needed freezers to store them in. During his speech at the Jet Aviation for the arrival of the vaccines on Tuesday, Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis expressed his gratitude to the U.S. Embassy.
With the help of the U.S. Embassy in Nassau, we are securing essential equipment and supplies that are necessary as we continue to roll out vaccines throughout our country. Last week, we received 4 ultra-cold freezers donated by the United States Embassy. 3 of these freezers would be used at the expanded program on immunization BPU unit on New Providence, and 1 of the freezers will be transported to Grand Bahama. The Embassy is also generously donating the personal protective equipment known as PPE needed to safely use ultra-cold freezers. I thank the U.S. Embassy and for all of its logistical and other support.
The 4 freezers, which are valued at a total of over $100,000, can cool vaccine doses at up to 122 degrees Fahrenheit and can store over 168,000 vaccine doses. In addition to the ultra-medical freezers, the U.S. Embassy is also providing additional medical supplies valued at around $115,000 to administer and handle any vaccine doses received. Those materials will be arriving over the coming week. Health officials responding to a report in a local daily suggesting a linkage of COVID-19 cases and deaths to a large religious gathering. The Ministry of Health in a statement says it's aware of the report, adding that it's confirmed that multiple clusters of COVID-19 cases have been identified during contact tracing activities in July on New Providence and the Family Islands. As cases increase, clusters have been linked to workplaces, construction sites, as well as social and other communal gatherings. Now, health officials say while COVID-19 exposures can occur anywhere, the Ministry of Health reminds the general public that for all the islands of the Bahamas, private gatherings are to be restricted to 5 persons, provided that the individuals are vaccinated. However, the ministry strongly recommends that there be no large gatherings. The ministry advising the public that cases, hospitalizations, and deaths from COVID-19 have increased significantly over the past month. The healthcare system is at capacity. To slow down or prevent the spread of the virus, as with other respiratory infections like the flu or the common cold, adherence to public health measures are critical. Health officials add that a specific public health measure proven to slow the spread, decrease severe illness, reduce the likelihood of death associated with COVID-19, and terminate the pandemic is to get vaccinated. Safe and effective vaccines are available in country. Now, more than 4.2 billion persons have been vaccinated worldwide. Side effects, when they do occur, are minimal. Health officials are encouraging you to be vaccinated and says you can speak to your healthcare provider about any concerns, then schedule your appointment at vax.gov.bs. Shifting gears, police on Grand Bahama investigating a traffic fatality, the result of a traffic accident that occurred on Sunday, July 25th. Police Press Liaison Officer for Northern Bahamas, Assistant Superintendent Stephen Roll, in his police report says shortly before 8 p.m. on Sunday, Police Control Room received a report of a traffic accident in the area of Batelco on East Sunrise Highway. Upon officers' arrival, initial investigations revealed that a male was riding a red and white Honda Trail motorbike traveling east on East Sunrise Highway when he collided with a 2012 gray Ford Fusion, which was traveling west, driven by an adult male. The driver of the Honda Trail motorbike received serious injuries about the body. EMS attended the scene and transported the victim to the Rand Memorial Hospital to seek further medical attention. The other driver was not injured. But on Monday, August 2nd, shortly after 9 p.m., the driver of the Honda Trail motorbike succumbed to his injuries. Investigations are being continued in this matter. And finally, in this segment of the news, the Democratic National Alliance, the latest to speak out on the new travel restrictions that's set to kick in this Friday, August 6th. For that story, we go to our Tyler Simonet.
With COVID cases in country now surpassing 15,000, Democratic National Alliance leader Rinthia Komalafe says Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis's wave of bad decisions continues. Her comments come off the heels of hospitals and even the morgue operating over capacity over the past several weeks. Mrs. Komalafe says the Prime Minister has finally reversed his decision, which exempted fully vaccinated persons from taking COVID-19 tests prior to traveling domestically and internationally. This is following his initial decision, which she says ignored sound advice from healthcare professionals and requirements in other jurisdictions.
This reversal in policy by the competent authority should be accompanied by an admission of failure and taking responsibility for rules that put the public health in danger. The Prime Minister must own this failure and apologize to the Bahamian people for his lapse in judgment. However, this new rule does not go far enough to address the infringement of the constitutional rights of Bahamians based on illogical reasoning. Now that the Prime Minister has acknowledged that both vaccinated and unvaccinated people can spread the virus, he must now amend the nonsensical rule which permits only vaccinated persons to campaign.
She says the DNA submits that the government ought not to permit campaigning for a select group of citizens at the expense of another group, adding that you either permit campaigning by all with a requirement to comply with COVID rules, or you prohibit campaigning for all. Add to that, Mrs. Komalafe says it is now clear that the second wave, which was spurred by the ill-advised 72-hour no testing rule in July of 2020, and the third wave, which has been worsened by the no testing rule for fully vaccinated individuals in July of 2021, have one thing in common, and that's bad decisions.
The government refuses to make testing free, strengthen the healthcare system, follow the advice of medical professionals in a timely manner, embark on a proper public education campaign on COVID vaccines, and unify the Bahamian people against this virus.
She says Bahamians understand the need to curtail and manage this virus in the national interest, adding that all the Bahamian people are asking is that the PM make these rules make sense and stop dividing our nation while turning us against one another. For JCN News, I'm Tyler Simonet.
You're watching JCN News. Stay with us.
This segment of the news is brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.